All right, let's do this. Welcome, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever and whenever this finds you. I'm so grateful that you're here. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. We have been having this conversation every moon day since August of 2022, and look at us, it is now October. Welcome. If you're a subscriber, you'll be able to check in the chat, and I'd love to know who you are and where you're tuning in from. Let's get to the week ahead. But honestly, I want to introduce the episode or just take a moment to say thank you. I'm going to take some screenshots and do a gratitude post tomorrow, Tuesday, because I recently saw in my YouTube channel, I didn't get an email about this. I am 100% certain that it's not that big of a milestone, but it is to me. So I'm very excited. And that is that my channel has accomplished 10,000 views. And that just makes me so excited. And I feel so grateful and honored. This moon magic and mindfulness conversation has been a mindfulness exercise of mine for over 10 years. And when I decided to incorporate it as a modality, if you will, in my coaching practice, to introduce it and to share it with clients and content audience at large, it was very personal and it felt like a big risk. And it, following the astrology and engaging in a spiritual practice and the day to day that comes from figuring out this tiny little insight or this big insight, or so on and so forth, is so interesting. And one of the biggest surprises for me was that moment of introspection where I really felt prompted to share about moon journaling and following the phases of the moon and what to do with that. And now, a year and a few months later, here we are, almost done with a full journal. This is all that we have left on our journal. It is unbelievable. I am so proud and so grateful. So thank you so much for 10,000 views. Thank you to all of the subscribers here on YouTube. And thank you so much to my group of Patreon subscribers who follow the link in the description or subscribe through Instagram, and the conversations that we have as they allow me to check in on them. It's just so beautiful. I love Peter, Rowena. I just love you all so much. Christy, Natalie, Ron. And I'm very excited to just continue, right? And it's October. Can you believe it? It's already October. So many amazing things are happening this month that I am very excited. Last year, I shared about how our 4-year-old, now 4-year-old, it was the first time that he participated in Halloween last year. So it was very exciting. He's very excited about it again this year. So I'm very hopeful. And the Eras Tour movie comes to the movie theaters on the 13th. It's our elopement anniversary on the 14th. It's my nephew's birthday on the 8th. And so it's my dad's birthday on the same day. And if it's your birthday in October and you're a Libra, then welcome. I'm so excited. Let me know in the comments. October is just so cute. I love it, right? The spooky season. And I haven't forgotten about the lights and the pumpkin lights and I already got them, but I need batteries. So as soon as I get batteries, they're going to go up. But let's get on with it. If you're following the Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2023 manifestation agenda / journal, you have the full month of October right here. Important dates that you can take notes of, and then some manifestations for the month, thinking ahead and setting goals and achieving is the lovely byproduct of coaching. And it's keeping myself organized is a must because I have my own notes and things that I dive into in order to help and assist my clients. And so sometimes I go into these rabbit holes of research that have nothing to do with me. And I love that part of coaching, right? And my goal for the month sometimes has nothing to do with me, but very much to do with me. So many things are coming up right now. I just posted yesterday about how we tend to recoil at the sound of the word surrender or release or let go or banish because we make it bigger than it could be, or we make it bigger than it might be, right? And how I wanted to clarify that when we talk about changes, when we talk about cycles ending, when you hear pivot, life-changing, when you hear habit changing, nip in the bud, right? I have felt the physical stress from those words and the thought of your whole life being turned upside down. Now let's look into this, because the moon is in Taurus today, and by 5:30-ish tomorrow it'll be in Gemini, so we only have a few hours left. And void of course is also part of the journey that the moon has, so it might be void of course for a period of time while some of us will be sleeping. We're not going to get into void of course right now, but it doesn't happen every time the moon switches signs, just sometimes. Anyway, with the moon in Taurus, a focus on patterns, traditions, stability, right? More than tradition, stability. And a focus on comfort and valuing what is already there, right, in the present, on the earth, right, materialized in front of you, materialized / manifested right in front of you. And with the concept of life-changing, habit-changing, transformation, closing cycles, entering a new era, those concepts tend to look and feel and they sound really big. But if you think about it, or the way I want to invite you to think about it, is the possibility of you making a small change that you might consider it small today, but the projection is that changing it daily in the long run is going to be a huge change. And it feels so kind of common sense when I talk about some of these logistics of goal achievement. And I like to throw in the word maintenance when it comes to daily things. I like to maintain my trauma, and what I mean by that is I am aware of my triggers, and I continue to daily take care of the things that come up as best as I can. And it's so beautiful that Jessica Lanieta was talking about this in her Ghost of a podcast, because we're starting the week with the moon in Taurus, which is very grounded, or could be. There's an invitation to ground there, but there's a trine with Mercury and another planet and Neptune can be very delusional, very delulu. It was so validating this morning when my fierce and gorgeous and beautiful friend Taryn the Happy Human posted about how she was so exhausted this morning. Let me remember it. She's so exhausted this morning that as a product of her exhaustion, she looked at some guy and she thought that he was walking a rooster on a leash. Which actually, Taryn, when you watch this, hit me up, because seeing a rooster can be a call for confidence, a call for pride. That's sort of what a rooster spirit animal kind of demotes. So look into that. But what it ended up being, when she blinked and her eyes came into the right focus, is that this guy was just weed eating, probably like edging, right, on the sidewalk. And that's what she saw. And incidentally, excuse me, my eye is very itchy. Incidentally, this whole Mercury trining another planet and then being in an opposition with Neptune is prompting kind of a delusion type of mindset, because that's what Neptune does. It does a lot of other things, but it can be very transforming as well. Now we have other transits happening this week, but the one that I am very interested in kind of observing is later on this week. So we're going to talk about it next week. And that is Venus, who has been in Leo since July. So it's been a minute. And during Venus in Leo, we have really transformed our values. And it's interesting because there's something about values coming up either in, hang on, I'm checking this book right here that we are all following. Oh yeah, right here. On today's Waning Gibbous, if you are evolving, so are your values. This is very Venus and Leo kind of coded, or at least Venus coded. Venus governs the values, what we value, what we, the value that we put into things, the worth, so on and so forth, self-worth as well. And so during Venus transit through Leo, we've all kind of experienced or talked about in previous episodes the journey of following spirit, our mind, and targeting what we want to focus on and the attention that we want to provide to it and the value that we want to put on it. And then we have experienced what that change has produced. But then we had that Venus retrograde that felt like the longest 40 days and 40 nights. And during Venus retrograde, I remember my notes. One of the most fascinating things were all of the scandals that came up with celebrities. So Lizzo had a scandal. Ariana Grande had a scandal. Taylor Swift, of course, was all over the place, along with Beyonce, who I saw a tweet that is going to put her concert on the AMC movie theater. All of that happening during Venus retrograde. And Venus governs as well all of that beauty, art, music, poetry, having a great time, eating grapes, while somebody fans you. That's all very Venus, right? And so at the end of this week, Venus is going to transition into Virgo, and I am very excited to observe and experiment and see what that transit will be like for my notes for further research. And as you all know, I'm currently working on next year's Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace agenda. And that's a lot of astrology that I have to put together and the moonology of it all. But I'm excited. All right. So the Waning Gibbous wants you to remember that if you are evolving, so are your values. So be kind to yourself. And as you know, every moon day we have affirmations. And today's affirmations are: I am valued and supported. Remember that. I am compensated handsomely for my efforts and services. That is one of those affirmations that allows me peace of mind. If you are an entrepreneur and you don't live on a steady paycheck, then you know the ups and downs of that anxiety, right? And so these affirmations, just incorporating them into everything else, they're great little sprinkles, right? Of just things that we want to affirm, just even if it's just for peace of mind. Honestly, I mean, affirmations, we don't need to get into it, but we also do have affirmations from the full moon that we just had. Oh my gosh, that super moon was so gorgeous. But after tomorrow, the moon will be in Gemini, and Gemini is that fabulous air sign, very creative, very curious, and loud, but in a good way. There's loud signs like Aries that are fire signs that tend to be a bit more aggressive, but Gemini not so much, right? And so Gemini moon can be very peckish, if you will. So almost like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Ooh, what if I do this now? Or what if I do that now? Or did you hear this? Because it is an air sign, Gemini is also almost always an invitation to express how we feel. The thing is that if we don't really make sense in the sense of intellectualizing, but also feel in our body and embody the things that we are going through and that we're trying to make sense of. I feel like intellectualizing and embodying should go hand in hand. It's like an equal practice. And so if they're not happening simultaneously, then expressing how we think we feel can become kind of the MO. And what happens then is that if we don't watch what we say, what can happen then, right? Gossip is one of those things that kind of comes to mind when the moon is in Gemini. So watch what you say and who you say it to. And then Thursday, Friday, and pretty much all of Saturday, the moon will be in Cancer. So that's why this morning I said that I was anticipating a dramatic weekend. And that's because the moon in Cancer can be very raw. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is at home in Cancer. So if your natal moon is in Cancer, then you feel pretty comfortable when the moon is in Cancer during the cycle. But it is also very emo. It is that raw inside that wants to nurture. And if there's not an opportunity to nurture, then you're going to feel that disconnect. And if your nurturing environment is not a safe environment for you, you're going to feel that disconnect. And my goal as a coach who has survived several pretty toxic relationships, just to be politically correct, my goal is for all of us to accomplish a sense of nourishment, even if we are on our own. And it's a practice. And when I say it's a practice, it's not just like an actual practice of putting this here and putting this here and putting this here and seeing what comes of it, but a practice of a constant reminder. I don't know how things happen in your head, but I'm one of those people that has an internal dialogue, but my internal dialogue is not like the neurodivergent internal dialogue where, if you're neurodivergent, please check in and confirm this, but I can just repeat the same thing over and over in my head and kind of get hyper fixated on that. And so I can guide myself through let's finish this. Let's finish this. We're not getting up until we get finished. And so I do things, right? Whereas a neurodivergent may experience more of a squirrel moment every other moment. So they're focusing on their task and they may think of a day in kindergarten, and then they may think of a boyfriend that they had in the YMCA 10 years later, and then they may go back to like childhood. And I really don't know, because that's not the way my brain works. But all of that to say, what a tangent. That figuring out and doing the work that I mention in this show, and that I hope to put together with the help of this agenda, is what guides me to be able to better communicate my needs and to be able to better make sense of what's going on in here and how it relates to here, and then how it relates to everything else. So that is the week. And then we're going to end with very late night at 11:25 p.m. The moon on Saturday is going to move into Leo, and then we're going to have Sunday with the moon in Leo. What a beautiful Sunday it's going to be, because Sunday is the sun day and Leo is ruled by the sun. So the moon, isn't that so beautiful? And Venus will be in Virgo then. And the vibe about values and the vibe about beauty and music will shift. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I am literally saying that I pretty much plan all of these conversations 1 week in advance. And so we're not going to have this conversation about Venus going into Virgo until next week, but I'm excited. Next week, we're also going to talk about the eclipses, which are going to happen. So let's look into it. We have 2 eclipses this month. As you know, they are bookends. So I will let you know next week where earlier this year we need to look into when we had those 2 eclipses before. Those are going to be bookends as well. And the ones in the previous season, fall of last year. But this week, this month, we have a new moon in Libra happening on October 14, right after the Eras Tour movie premiere and on our elopement wedding anniversary. Yay! And the full moon in Taurus on October 28. Both dates have eclipses on them. This can be life-changing. It can be a bit of a ruckus, but it may not be. And so we will discuss next week, and that will be it. But I am so excited. If you are willing and ready and able, let's get into the meditation. Let's just relax and calm down. As you know, music for this meditation is brought to you by Brain FM. You can find a link in Graciela's links in the description, and 20% off your membership. Also, after your trial, we're going to go to Meditate and Unguided. And let's just breathe and relax. With me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath in, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out through your mouth. Long breath out through your mouth. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again through your nose. Deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go through your mouth. Nice and slow. Long breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax your breath. Settle into this moment. Settle into this tune. And with me, I want you to picture yourself at the top of a cliff. Feel the wind in your hair. See the horizon in front of you. It's a beautiful day, and you've made it. You've gotten to this moment, this place, this space and time. I am so grateful that you're here. And as you take in the beauty and the majestic nature in front of you, I want you to ponder your life, what you have to offer, what you want to give. And in that thought, I want you to ponder, who will you give it to? With me, take a deep breath in through your nose, nice and slow. Deep breath in, hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out through your mouth. Nice and slow, long breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Through your nose, deep, 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 deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out through your mouth. Nice and slow, long breath out. And as you relax into this exhale, and as you envision a bright sky and a horizon of trees and hilltops and mountaintops in front of you, as you stand at the top of this hill, I want you to put your hand on your chest and remember, I am so loved. I am so grateful. I am valued and supported. I am compensated for my efforts and services, and I am so ready to flow through changes open to see what Spirit wants me to see. With me, take one last breath in through your nose. Deep, deep, deep breath in. Deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth. Long breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And inhale one last time. All the way to the top, nice and slow. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. Nice and slow. Breath out. Long extended breath. Hold it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. As you relax, bring your attention to your body. Wiggle your toes and open your eyes and come back to me. Yay! April, I'm so glad that you're here and that you will join. Please rewind and check out what this week could be like, might be like, and if it's not, it's all good. The astrology hits everybody differently. Your chart has a lot to do with it. My chart is a different chart. My child's chart is a different chart, so on and so forth. And so this is what part of what intrigues me so much, and that is that the conversation never ends because it all changes and applies differently to everybody. And I love that about it. So thank you so much for joining and liking and subscribing. Thank you again for 10,000 views on my channel. I am honestly so grateful and was not expecting to see that in my back creator channel page. And it's now 10,100 and something, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you again, and I will see you next moon day. We're going to talk about the new moon that's going to happen on the 13th, and the eclipse that's going to happen on the 13th. That's going to be drama as well because eclipses are opposition. So we're going to talk about that. But I love you all, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone. Bye.